As President Trump begins his second month in office, he's planning dramatic moves to slash government spending. Reportedly on the chopping board, major cuts at the Departments of Transportation, Justice, and State, among others, plus cutbacks in many smaller agencies like the National Endowment for the Arts and Humanities and Corporation for Public Broadcasting. His goal? Reduce federal spending by more than $10 trillion over 10 years.
Unfortunately, the budget that we're essentially inheriting, is a mess. The finances of our country are a mess, but we're going to clean them up.
Trans equality now!
But for now, other issues have been in the headlines, like Trump's decision to reverse an Obama directive to public schools to allow transgender students to use bathrooms and locker rooms of their choice.
The president has maintained for a long time that this is a states' rights issue and not one for the federal government.
And a revamped executive order banning citizens from 7 terror-prone countries from entering the U.S. won't be released till next week now. The initial January 27th executive order was blocked by a federal judge in Seattle. Also, the White House is ordering federal agents to aggressively identify, capture, and deport any undocumented immigrant who has been convicted of a crime.
The message from this White House and from the DHS is that those people who are in this country and pose a threat to our public safety or have committed a crime will be the first to go, and we will be aggressively making sure that that occurs.
But while these and other controversies have dominated the headlines during Trump's first month in office, strengthening the weak economy has also been a key priority for the administration and Republicans on Capitol Hill. And White House officials say they are working hard on those issues, including repealing and replacing Obamacare and cutting business and personal taxes, along with reducing the burden of massive federal regulations. All those issues are expected to come to the forefront in the days ahead. George Thomas, CBN News.
Well, according to the Constitution, the House of Representatives is responsible for raising the fiscal money needed for the maintaining of the federal government, and the taxing power is with the House. And so what does the House have? They have a committee called the Ways and Means Committee that takes care of tax legislation. That's their job. Well, with us now is the key man for the Republicans in Congress on tax reform and repealing and replacing Obamacare, Representative Kevin Brady of Texas. He's chairman of that amazing House Ways and Means Committee. Congressman, it's a pleasure to have you back with us on the 700 Club. Thanks for being here.
Doctor, thank you. I love being on your show.
All right, we talked the last time. You have an amazing, what I think is a very commendable tax plan. What is the chance of getting your tax plan through your committee, through the House, and then ultimately through the Congress?
I think it's very good. For the first time in 30 years, I think America knows our tax code is broken. It's costly, it's complex, it's just unfair. It's full of lobbyist loopholes and special interests. And so House Republicans are working with President Trump, who, by the way, he has inherited a huge mess. He is working night and day to try to turn this country around. And I know it seems overwhelming to people, but boy, they are just focused. We are too. So where we're going to help the most is, one, we are going to move to repeal Obamacare and replace it with patient-centered health care. Health care really is tailored to you, not Washington. While we're doing that, we're going to make sure that taxpayer dollars don't go toward elective abortions and that we're not funding Planned Parenthood. So that is our immediate priority. And tax reform, which is hard, but I will tell you, I'm very optimistic about it being passed into law this year, dramatically reducing what Washington takes from you. And for most Americans, as we propose that 9 out of 10 Americans will be able to file their taxes using a postcard-style system, which is exactly what my constituents are asking me for.
Well, in doing that, you're going to cut out a whole thicket of exemptions. And how do you keep the lobbyists from beating you up on that legislation?
Well, we're not. They've already started. We've proposed, for example, we've watched our American jobs and our companies just move overseas, devastating whole communities and states. A big reason of it is our tax code. It favors foreign products, over Made in America products. And so you've already got special interests fighting desperately to keep that tax break. Our argument is, look, all products should be taxed equally in America. Our Made in America products should not be at a disadvantage. So we've already got those lobbyists into us. But I'll tell you that postcard system that we're proposing, it lowers taxes for everyone. It simplifies the code in a major way, but it keeps the things families count on, the child tax credit, help with college, and we're going to redesign it for if your kids are going to technical schools, we want you to get help there. We keep the home mortgage deduction, and of course, charitable giving. We want to unlock more charitable giving in America. We think that's some of the best, one of the best, I think, traditions of our country. And as we're doing that, Doctor, I do want to tell you and your viewers, in our tax reform, we intend to repeal the damaging effects of the Johnson Amendment so our pastors and our preachers can practice their faith and their biblical teachings without fear of Washington or the IRS targeting them.
Well, now, you counting the votes, and I just want to be, you've got to get votes. You have votes in the Ways and Means Committee for that. Will there be votes in the House for that? And will Mitch McConnell be able you go ahead, please. Yes.
Yeah, yes, sir. We will pass it out of our committee this spring. We're working closely with President Trump and Senator McConnell over there. He's got a tough road, but we're going to use a process called reconciliation that allows us to get around the filibuster in the Senate to have a straight up or down vote on this later this year. Our target is to finish this by August. I'll be pleased if we get this done in 2017 after 30 years. It's been way too long. This is our opportunity, so let's seize it.
Well, I want to ask you about that thing you've got in there having to do with a tax on imports and a tax relief on exports. Could you explain how that works?
Yeah, so today we know what our competitors are doing, like China, Europe, Canada, Mexico, and they take their main tax off their products coming to America, and they slap a tax on our American products coming into their country. The rest of the world all does this, except America and North Korea and Cuba. So as a result, today a Made in America product is at a tax disadvantage here in America and overseas as well. And so that's one of the reasons we continue to lose our American jobs. Our manufacturing's gone overseas and a lot of other things as well. So what we're proposing as House Republicans is no more special loopholes for foreign products, that everyone should be taxed at the same rate, all businesses, a very low rate, 20%, but that means we will no longer tax Made in America products being sold around the world. That levels the field. We will tax everyone equally in the U.S., so there's true competition. It's a big change, Doctor, from where we're at today, but here's the benefits for Americans. We'll finally see true competition, no special breaks for Chinese steel over American steel or Middle East oil over American oil. It'll be a level playing field. The other big advantage is that no longer will our tax code tell companies move overseas, move your plants and your headquarters there. In fact, just the opposite. It really establishes America as that 21st century magnet for new jobs. That's what we want to see.
The companies in America have amassed a war chest, so if you use that term, of cash somewhere in the $2 to $3 trillion range. How will you treat that when they begin to repatriate it?
Yes, sir. So we're proposing going forward, after the law is passed, that the tax rate to bring all those earnings back to America is 0%. We want that coming back to the U.S. For the $2.5 trillion, as you pointed out, the American dollars stranded overseas, our current tax code really prevents or really penalizes companies from bringing it back to reinvest. We're proposing a very low sort of a toll to bring that back to America, but it will be, trillions of dollars of private money, not taxpayer dollars, coming back into our communities for new jobs, new research, new growth. We think that's important to the U.S. economy.
Can you gentlemen get together, ladies, replacement for Obamacare. I think the whole concept is to have more health savings accounts, more personal accountability, and obviously portability of health care benefits.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for that?
Yes, so imagine eliminating that whole bureaucracy of Obamacare, 159 federal agencies and commissions in between you and your doctor. That's what's failing today. So eliminate that. What we propose is the concept of a healthcare backpack that's tailored to you, that travels with you from job to job, state to state, home to raise a family or a business, and even into retirement. And in that backpack is what you need to control your health care, not what Washington needs. So the ability to pick a plan that's right for you, that grows with you as your family expands, as you get older, there's more money to help you because health care costs go up. Also in your backpack is easy access to a health savings account, because that helps you afford your out-of-pocket costs, which are really always getting high. And then finally, control of your medical records, so you can choose to give it to that new doctor who's seeing your child for the first time. Or maybe you end up in an emergency room in some state you didn't expect to. So you have control of your health care, not Washington. So we're in this repeal, we want to begin two very important principles. First, let's start returning control to the states so they can approve health plans that are tailored to their families, again, not Washington. And secondly, let's restore the free market. Let's give Americans real choices for plans that work for them, again, not Washington. So those two principles, state control and restoring the free market, that's where House Republicans are headed.
Well, Chairman Brady, your plan is brilliant. I wish you the very best, and I hope it becomes law. So God bless you, and thank you for being here.
Keep us in your prayers. We're working very hard.
We'll do it. All right.